It's 11:47 on a Thursday night. You're sitting on your couch, laptop warm against your legs, the blue glow reflecting off a half-empty glass of wine. You've had a long week. Your manager sent 3 passive-aggressive emails. Your commute felt longer than usual. And somewhere between Tuesday and Wednesday, you've stopped feeling like yourself. But right now, something shifts. Your thumb hovers over the checkout button. $39. A kitchen gadget. Maybe a book you'll read someday. Maybe a candle that smells like a cabin you've never been to. You click. Confirmation. A small pulse of warmth moves through your chest. You did something. You treated yourself. And for exactly 4 seconds, everything feels lighter. 3 days later, a brown box appears at your door. You open it. You look at the thing inside. You feel almost nothing. You put it on a shelf, you forget it exists, and by Thursday night, you're back on the couch again, searching for that same feeling. Here's what nobody tells you about modern spending. You're not irrational. You're not bad with money. You're doing exactly what you were designed to do. The problem is that the game has changed, and the rules you're following were written for a world that no longer exists. 50 years ago, when your grandparents bought something, they were buying a thing, a refrigerator, a winter coat, a set of tools. These objects had friction. You had to drive to a store, count out cash, carry the item home. Every purchase required effort, and because of that effort, every purchase carried meaning. But somewhere along the way, the friction disappeared. The store came to your pocket, the cash became invisible, and the thing you were buying stopped being the thing at all. Today, when you click that button at 11:47, you're not purchasing a kitchen gadget. You're purchasing a feeling, a small, temporary, chemically induced feeling that your brain produces when it believes it's about to receive a reward. You are buying dopamine, and the companies selling to you know this better than you do. Think about the last 10 things you bought online. Not groceries, not bills, the other things. How many do you still use? How many, if they disappeared tomorrow, would you even notice? That silence tells you everything. Here's the trap, and it has a name. I call it the pleasure leak. Every time you feel stress, boredom, or anxiety, your brain looks for an escape. In the past, that valve might have been a walk, a conversation, something that returned genuine satisfaction. Now, the easiest valve is always in your pocket. One click. Instant relief. The problem is that the relief never lasts. Dopamine isn't designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you want. It creates anticipation, not fulfillment. So the moment after you buy, the wanting starts again. You're not filling a hole. You're digging it deeper. And here's where it gets expensive, not just emotionally, mathematically. Say you spend $40 a week on things you don't remember buying. That's $2,000 a year. But that number is a lie, because money moves. The real question isn't what you spent, it's what that spending prevented you from having. If you invested that $40 weekly at 8% annually, after 10 years you'd have over $31,000. After 20 years, over $100,000. After 30 years, nearly $250,000, $250,000. From $40 a week, you wouldn't even miss. But that's not the painful part. $250,000 is options. It's the ability to walk away from a job draining your soul. It's the ability to say no to things that don't serve you, not because you're brave, but because you can afford it. Every time you click that button at 11:47, you're spending a tiny piece of your future freedom. And the transaction is so small, so invisible, you never feel the loss. This is the pleasure leak. Not a single bad decision, 1,000 invisible ones, each too small to notice, each quietly draining your financial future into the pockets of people who understand your psychology better than you do. Your brain evolved in scarcity. When something pleasurable appeared, you grabbed it. But now you live in infinite abundance, and your ancient brain has no idea how to cope.
The companies know this. They've spent billions researching how to trigger your dopamine response. The red notification dot, the limited time offer, the free shipping threshold just above what you plan to spend. Every pixel is designed to click. And when you do, you feel victory. You got the deal. You deserved it. But you didn't win. You were the product all along.
So what do? How do you fight a system engineered to exploit the very wiring of your brain? The answer is not willpower. Willpower is finite. It depletes throughout the day. It crumbles under stress, and it's useless at 11:47 at night when you're tired and the button is right there. The answer is something counterintuitive. You have to stop thinking about spending as a moral issue and start thinking about it as an engineering problem. Most financial advice frames spending as a character flaw. You spend too much because you're weak, you lack discipline, you should feel guilty. But guilt doesn't change behavior. Shame doesn't build wealth, and trying harder is not a strategy. The people who actually build lasting financial freedom don't rely on willpower. They build systems. They engineer their environment so the default choice is the right choice. They make it harder to spend and easier to save, not because they're morally superior, but because they understand their brain is not their ally in this fight. There's a concept in behavioral economics called friction. Friction is any obstacle between you and an action. Companies have spent decades removing friction from spending. One-click checkout, saved credit cards, instant delivery. But you can add friction back in. Delete shopping apps from your phone, removed saved credit card information, create a 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases. Small changes, but they work precisely because they interrupt the dopamine loop before it completes. You're not trying to become a different person. You're just slowing yourself down long enough for the rational part of your brain to catch up with your impulses. A speed bump, not a wall. Now here's where people push back. What's the point of money if I can't enjoy it? Life is short. I don't want to be the richest person in the graveyard. I understand, but here's what I've noticed. The people who say this loudest are usually least happy with their purchases. They're opening boxes and feeling nothing. They keep buying because the last thing didn't work and maybe the next thing will. The spending isn't making them happy, it's making them tired. Real enjoyment, the kind that lasts, almost never comes from transactions. It comes from experiences you're present for, relationships you invest in, work that feels meaningful, unstructured time to do nothing at all. And all of those become more available when you stop leaking money on things that vanish from memory the moment the box hits recycling. Here's the belief flip that changed everything for me. I used to think buying things was self-care, that spending was a reward I'd earned. But I started paying attention. The purchases never satisfied. The happiness faded faster each time. I was working harder to afford a lifestyle that wasn't making me feel alive. The spending wasn't self-care, it was self-medication. I wasn't treating myself, I was numbing myself. Every transaction was a vote for a future where I'd still depend on purchases to feel okay. So I flipped it. I started defining wealth not as what I could buy, but what I didn't need to buy. Freedom wasn't a nicer apartment. Freedom was not caring about the apartment. Security wasn't a bigger paycheck. Security was a gap between what I earned and what I needed that no job could threaten. The math stays the same. The feelings change completely. Here's something practical. I call it the dopamine audit. Go through your last 3 months of transactions. Next to each purchase, write one word. Remembered, you still use it and it adds value. Forgotten, you needed the statement to remember buying it, or regret it. Most people find 50 to 70% falls into forgotten, money that produced nothing, no memory, no utility, no joy, just gone. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That awareness is what starts to change things. The identity shift comes next. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who deserves to spend and start thinking of yourself as someone who chooses to build, not because spending is bad, but because building is better. The foundation you're constructing, financial security,
options, genuine freedom is worth more than any package that's ever arrived at your door. The wealthy understand this intuitively. They don't feel deprived when they don't buy things. They feel powerful. Every dollar kept is a dollar working for them. Every purchase skipped is a choice preserved. That's available to you, too. Not someday when you make more money, right now. So let me leave you with this. There are two versions of your future. In one, you keep clicking, keep opening boxes, keep chasing a feeling that fades faster each time. In 20 years, you look around at a house full of things and a bank account full of nothing. In the other version, you pause, you notice, you build. And in 20 years, you have something no purchase could ever give you, the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want. The button is still there. The blue glow is still waiting. The question is whether you're buying a thing or buying back your life.